Good morning. My name is Ruth Monette, and I am the senior priest here at St. Stephen the Martyr and at our partner parish, St. Timothy in Brentwood, where I am this morning. For today, National Indigenous Day of Prayer, I want to offer you a brief word about why we begin our worship with a territorial acknowledgement. The simplest answer is because we were asked to do so. And the Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls to action churches, especially those involved in the settlement of the class action suit regarding residential schools, of which the Anglican Church of Canada was a part. Churches are asked to educate their members on the church's role in colonization. In addition, churches were asked specifically to repudiate the doctrine of discovery and the idea of terra nullius, which gave moral justification to the idea that the land in Canada was empty and available for the taking. By beginning our worship with a territorial acknowledgement, we are reminding ourselves of how deeply we participated in and theologically justified a process that led directly to the treatment of people in ways that stripped them of their dignity. It's a reminder that we collectively broke our own baptismal promises to respect the dignity of every human being. The territorial acknowledgement also links our time of worship to all the people who, from time immemorial, have found a divine presence in this place. It reminds us that we do not worship in isolation, but in relationship. For me, one of the most useful elements of the territorial acknowledgement is that it calls us forward. It calls us to renew our commitment to our baptismal covenants, to allow our history to shape how we are in the future so that we don't repeat our history. Together, we can acknowledge who we've been and who we want to be, and who God is in the midst of all of this work, so that when we come together in worship, we acknowledge a God who acts in the world in ways that are more than we will ever imagine, a God who speaks into the lives of people who are different from anything we have ever experienced, and a God whose love for each unique individual one of us is a force that can sustain and inspire us even in the midst of our own very worst moments, and even when we have failed in important and life-giving ways. So this morning, please join me in acknowledging that we worship on the traditional and unceded lands of the Musqueam and the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh and the Kwakwutlam peoples. We give thanks for their presence now, in the past, and in the future, that together we may find ways to live into our baptismal covenants, to respect the dignity of every human being.